I mean, look, there's a few things to talk about tonight, but the first thing I want to talk about is the Ajax thing, because I think that this is coming in from Mike Verwey, who's very good when it comes to Ajax news. And if I'm absolutely honest, this is really about incompetence, I suppose, isn't it? Would you bring Dan James back? No. Why are we talking about that? Welcome to the Members Club, Jake Layton. And at what point do we say screw this whole respect Ajax thing and just get who we want? Playing nice won't get us anything. I think it's too late, the chosen one. We have sort of been hinting at this for a while, so it's interesting that it's come out from Ajax. But I've got to say, I don't blame them. Ajax are basically saying to United, you're too late, lads. You're too late. We've sold half our team, and now, when you've sorted your De Jong deal out, you think you'll move on to us. Screw you. Like, forget it. Who do you think we are? You've took our manager. You could have took a couple of players, but you've took too long. We've sold half our team. We needed to raise money. We've raised money. We don't want to sell anybody else. Jog on. And United now are in trouble because we've taken too long. And the amazing thing here is that you deserve applause because everybody is now starting to wake up. Journalists, ex-players, the lot, even players at the club are waking up and going, what have Manchester United done with this transfer window? They're talking like you can wait till August to sign players. They've messed up. They've messed up big time because they've put everything on De Jong and they've gone everything else can wait. And if you don't understand what that says below, Mike Verwey is very good. It's the European lad as well. He's very good in relation to Ajax. Ajax don't want to sell Anthony, Lisandro Martinez and Jurrien Timber, and I've put an extremely high price tag on the players, which makes the chance of them leaving extremely small. Anthony will now cost between 70 million and 80 million euros. Now, considering we were going to pay 40 million pounds, they've just whacked on 20 or 30 million pounds onto his price because we're late. Not only that, they're now demanding 50 million up to 60 million euros for Timber and Lisandro. They've basically whacked 20 million on all their players because we're late. So explain this to me. Explain this to me. We spend 9 weeks working on a deal for De Jong because we don't want to pay what Barcelona want. And we may end up saving 10 or 15 million. We then move on to our other targets and have to pay another 15 to 20 million on each one of the Ajax players. Make it make sense. 9 weeks negotiating a cheaper plea with Barcelona that we might not even get, and then we move on to targets that Ten Hag told the club he wanted in the middle of May, and they've suddenly gone up in price by 50% or 20 or 30%. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. It really doesn't. And we can speculate as fans about what makes sense, but we're talking here about football clubs. That's a brief from Ajax. Ajax have basically said, we don't want to sell anyone, and if you do come knocking on our door, you're going to pay over the odds. Now, I pretty much think respect from Ajax, Ved van der Sar's their CEO, Ten Hag was their manager, United. There's a nice, friendly, respectful relationship there. But fair play to Ajax, they're saying now, screw it. We've got to think about next season. We've got a new manager, we want to win the league, we've sold half our team, and you want to rock in early July and say we want that player and that player when we've started pre-season training. Jog on. And if you're going to do it and you're going to rattle our players to ask for transfer requests, we'll sell them to you, but we'll sell them at big prices. Ajax twerking for every club but United, says Madge. But I don't think they are, Madge. You know what? Think of it from this point of view. You're Ajax. You have a really good season. You lose your manager. You've then got clubs like Dortmund and Bayern Munich and other clubs getting your players. And you know you've got to sell some of them. And you know United are interested in your players, but they're messing around with De Jong in Barcelona. You can't wait. You sell the players you need to generate the money to buy the players you want. And then you go, right, we're not selling anymore. United haven't come knocking. And then you're ready to start your season and your pre-season and you've got everyone you want. And then United come knocking on the door and say, but we wanted 2 players. No. And if you're going to unsettle them, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I don't get what our transfer strategy is anymore. I still believe we'll buy players. Funnily enough, I still think we'll get Anthony, but we're not. We're going to not get them for the prices we wanted to get them for, and I actually just don't understand what we've done with this transfer window now. And it's funny because I was speaking to somebody about an hour ago who's like, quite. They played the game basically, and they were saying, I don't know what United are doing. I don't know what United are doing. It doesn't make any sense. I've played football, I've coached football. It doesn't make any sense. And I was like, You and me both. I really don't understand what the strategy is. We're just... It's massively frustrating, and if we're frustrated, you can imagine how other clubs feel who United are now going to knock on the door and try and buy their players. I mean, imagine if we went for Ruben Neves. I'm sure Wolves would be like, "Well, we're going on tour. We're going on pre-season. Why have you not come to us 3 weeks ago? Why are you doing a deal at a time? You're Manchester United." And I think actually my biggest fear is, for all this new United from Richard Arnold and Murta and everyone, I think they're probably just not very good at their job. There's no evidence that we're very good at transfers. Matt Judge, I think, has left or is leaving. Murta, is he somebody who negotiates transfers? I don't know what his CV is in relation to that. I don't know who is negotiating our transfers. Is it Darren Fletch? I just don't know. And I think this is the problem. They might be full of hope and happiness and desire, but are they competent? And at the moment, it looks like we are not very competent when it comes to negotiating transfers. We haven't got the De Jong deal done. Ajax are saying you're now going to have to pay a lot more than you thought you were going to pay. It's just becoming... I think like I say, I think the intention is good from United. I just don't think they have the talent. I don't think they have the expertise. And more fool them. More fool them, because there was somebody who did have the expertise and knew exactly what they were doing, and we decided to sack him, and his name was Ralf Rangnick. Because whatever you think about Ralf Rangnick, when it comes to negotiating transfers and getting them done, he was the man who was meant to be doing this summer, and at the moment, it's looking like a big mistake. So infuriating watching this club do business. Thanks for the content. Problem now, our history with overpaying for players has given power to the selling clubs to dictate terms in the transfers, says Paras. We do have a reputation for overpaying, and we do have a reputation for paying silly wages as well. So it's very difficult to, put the handbrake on with that. You're right. The board's inability to think and breathe at the same time is ruining our chances of a half-decent season next season. It's a joke, says Sam. What's most sickening is the thought of that 11 million being pulled out by those plonkers on Friday. I'm shocked at what they didn't do, says Sean Collins. And unlike De Jong, let's move on. No real targets, but we move on. Let's get real and sign realistic targets, whoever they are, says Ray. But you know what, Ray? I do want to move on from Ajax, but people like Anthony and Timber and Lisandro Martinez, they are realistic targets. They're Ajax players. They're not bloody Bayern Munich players or Barcelona players. They play for Ajax in the Eredivisie. They're realistic targets for Manchester United that teams like Man City and Liverpool aren't even looking at. So they're not. It's not like we're trying to get De Jong out of Barcelona. The realistic targets were Anthony and Timber, and we didn't do it. We waited. I don't blame Ajax for saying you're too late. But the sad thing is, we could have done this. We could have just gone straight away and gone, let's get Anthony and Timber done. And look, answers on a postcard why we didn't. Why didn't we just go and get Anthony and Timber done? Why didn't we lock into talks with Ajax in May and say, look, I know they're going on international duty and maybe they want to think about it, but let's lock in the price because, I don't want you going selling other players, etc. Let's get them done. And United just don't seem to have done that.